Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Happy Monday.
I took the day off, pretty much. All right, you ready to go on the radio?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
And welcome to the program. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Happy Monday. If you believe in those kind of things. You know what I mean? Hi, Brianna. How are you?
You sound like you're so happy for Monday.
Yeah, I mean, look, I woke up today. It was one of those days where I had a couple of meetings cancel this morning.
Oh.
My daughter wanted to get in the pool. Her little friend, or her little cousin friend, who's the same age, was here visiting from Melbourne. I was like, you know what? The hell with it. I'm just going to not go to the office for most of the day. Took them to Chick-fil-A for breakfast, and then just swam in the pool for most of the day.
Oh.
So that was my morning.
Well, that was awesome.
But I am here now, of course. I'm happy to be spending some time with you. 321-282-1055. The website, youhavepowered.com. You can watch the TV shows this weekend and every weekend. Saturday, 12:30 p.m. on CBS. It is You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark, over on CBS. And then Sunday morning, 10 a.m., TV 27. It is this show, Behind the Law, but it's Behind the Law on television. Throughout the week, you can ask us questions by following at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. You can watch that show, this show, right there. So where is new Brianna still? She's still gone, huh?
Yes.
Is she coming back?
I believe so, yeah. Why wouldn't she?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't.
You are just, God, you just live in this constant fear of abandonment,
I just
Justin.
show up, and then people are here, people aren't here, and I just wonder if they're coming back. That's all.
Are you talking about me?
No, I mean, you're here sometimes, too.
When you walked in today, the first thing you said was, oh, so you are here. Like, oh.
So, well, I emailed you earlier, if I'm not mistaken, as well, and you didn't respond. I even went to...
You didn't respond. I didn't respond right away.
I even went to Ali's office and said, hey, does Brianna have a new email or something? Because she's not getting back with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't respond within 30 minutes.
So you'll probably hear something
He
from
sent
him
me an
later.
email and
I
he called
apologize.
me.
Yeah, but how often do I actually call you? Have I ever really called you?
No.
I called you today, too, right?
You did. And because I didn't call, I didn't respond back in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I called you back within 10 minutes, and guess who didn't answer?
Me.
Poor boy.
Yeah.
You.
So, but if you think about it, how many times have I really called you? Almost never?
Never. I probably assumed it was a butt dial. Like, he doesn't mean this.
Yeah, it's important when I don't remember why I called you, though.
He never
But I
calls
did
me.
call you.
You did.
Anyway, we'll do the news. We'll also play Stump the Clarkie in the second half hour, and throughout the show, a fantastic interview with a fantastic real estate agent. Linda Sitek will be here. She joins us from Keller Williams in Winter Park. So if you have any real estate questions, you're going to want to stick around. This show is for you. But first, Brianna, what's going on in the news?
So, it's been a slow news day. I'm going to be honest. Did you want to talk about golf for a little bit?
I mean, we can. I still think, is anyone really interested if Tiger's not on the leaderboard? I mean, we're interested. Don't get me wrong. But the ratings are definitely down. I did watch the last probably 5 or 6 holes yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. You?
No, none.
You don't even watch basketball.
I was...
golf.
Okay, first of all...
Yeah, you don't.
I watch football.
Okay.
I will see you people in August.
All right.
We can talk as much as we want.
It's only a sports station. You know what I mean? You would think you
true.
know something about sports. Anyway, what about golf?
Tennis? I mean...
And trust me, my audience does not play tennis or watch tennis.
Well, okay, and I don't watch golf, so I'm sorry. You talk, Justin. Talk about golf.
No, what did you want to talk about?
What did you do for Father's Day yesterday, actually?
So Father's Day, wake up. Father's Day, for those of us that are fathers, we really just want everyone to be nice to us at the end of the day. Just be nice for one full day. Like,
just be nice.
If I want to take a nap, whatever, just be nice. And it was kind of like that in my house, but I feel like they could have been a little nicer, honestly.
What?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't super nice, but it was okay.
Okay.
Sophia did agree to go because Ali was having a party at his house. So
that's so nice.
Sophia did agree to go to the party with me. We had like these ridiculously big steaks. So.
Oh, that's right. You said your friend's having a cookout for fathers.
Exactly.
Wait, the wives weren't invited?
No, they were. They were there. Pilar just wasn't feeling well, so she stayed home with Mila, my little baby.
Got it. I was gonna say, wow.
What did you guys do?
We went to Coronas and had some adult beverages and cigars.
Really?
Yeah.
Aren't you a missionary or something? You're going to the cigar place and drinking.
Well, And I smoke cigars.
And smoked a cigar. Wow.
Well, for the record, it was Nicaraguan, so
Yeah. Paraguay just called. They don't want you back.
they'll have me. Because you're not going.
Yeah, I called Paraguay and I told them you were going to come back to help some school children. They're like, nah.
Keep that lush.
Nah. You hang on to her.
That sucks. No.
Isn't it Paraguay you went to? No.
No, I went to El Salvador. I also
Yeah.
went to Nicaragua and Honduras, but and Guatemala.
El Salvador also called.
They don't want me either.
No, they
That's
said
terrible.
if you're going to be out drinking and smoking cigars,
Jeez.
they don't need you back.
It's not on the internet, so I guess it didn't really happen.
Anything else going on in the news today?
So I've seen this article at least 7 times on the internet just over the weekend, and it's talking about the number of or the amount of plastics that are in our food. And it's saying that you actually swallow a credit card's weight in plastics every week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's gross. Like, how does the plastic get in there? What's it from?
So apparently the FDA, they approve, certain amount of items in your food, whether it's like rodents, hair, or fecal matter or whatever,
Ugh.
they approve a certain amount per pound or per whatever measurement, unit of measurement they want to use. However, they do approve like a certain amount of plastic in your food. So because of all the approvals, what you would normally eat in a week, you actually consume. You might as well just eat a credit card every week.
That's really disgusting.
Yeah, I think
Although,
it's gross.
it would be good for your spending habits probably.
Don't eat your credit cards.
I mean, it's easier to just shred them. But I'm saying if you're unwilling to shred them, you could eat them. I mean, I guess.
Let me be honest. The other thing is the way these credit cards are set up in this digital age.
Yeah.
My phone knows my credit card number. I never see it. I don't have to because you can Samsung Pay or Apple Pay or just one click to pay like Amazon does.
You know what is pretty cool about phones though and passwords now? How
What's
it
that?
automatically will create the password for you. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
When you create a new password, your iPhone will create like this insane
really
password.
long and strong
But
one, I guess.
The obvious problem is if you're going to need to log in from a different device, you're totally screwed,
Yes.
right?
This is true.
So they just assume that you have to use your iPhone to log into everything now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
is that normal?
Well, most people that use Apple products, they're consistent across all of their devices, which means it's synced, So if you have an iPhone, if you have a laptop, it's probably an Apple laptop. If you have a tablet, it's probably an iPad, So they assume that it's going to be the same because it's consistent across all the iTunes devices.
Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Attorney Justin Clark here with you as we are every single weeknight, 8 o'clock p.m. I have the beautiful Brianna to my right, and directly across from her, to my left, on the red microphone, a good friend of the show, and a terrific realtor here in Orlando, Linda Sitek. She is with Keller Williams Winter Park. Hello, Linda. How are
Hi,
you?
Justin. Great.
Thanks for
Yourself?
being here. So now we've done TV together, now radio. What is next for us? You know what I mean?
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, so tell me a
Cover
little
more
bit about the real estate market right now. Are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market? Let me preface this question with, we've been hearing that we're in a crazy seller's market for 2 or 3 years now. Like, if you're going to be a buyer, you need to go pay or ask above listing price to even have a shot at buying the houses. Where are we at right now?
It's really a tale of two markets. So the average price point in Orlando is $280,000. So anything below $300,000 is in a seller's market. And then the luxury price point would be basically double $280,000. So anything above $560,000 is becoming more of a balanced market. And then $1 million and up, we're looking at a buyer's market.
We always hear about summertime being a really hot time in the real estate market. Is summertime better for buyers, better for sellers? Is it neither? How do you really view summertime, and why do we always talk about it as being such an important time in the real estate year?
Basically because of schools. So when buyers are wanting to buy into a certain school district, they want to buy during the summer. But I mean, listen, we don't live in Maine, so it's not like we have to deal with snow and that. But the summertime is a busy time.
And do you think it's better for buyers or sellers, or neither really?
I think it's good for both
Yeah.
because you have more buyers out there, and then usually the sellers there's more inventory usually during the summer.
And are the sales, like the monthly amount of sales in Central Florida, normally more in the summertime?
Yes.
Okay, so the sales are definitely up in the summertime.
Yes.
And, schools, you mentioned schools. I think schools are really an important part of real estate. And just how important when you're looking to buy your next house, how important should the quality of the schools really be? Let's ask that question and more right on the other side of this break. It is Justin Clark on Behind the Law.
My heart started beating really fast because
Why?
I thought you were going to ask her the question.
About-
And I'm like, we have 10 seconds.
yeah.
If you don't, if you ask her, I'm going to be upset.
Okay, you guys ready?
Ready?
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Why are you looking at me like that? That was a look. You gave me a look. I don't know what it was.
I looked over, you were already looking at me.
Justin Clark here with you. Brianna as well. 321-282-1055. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. We're answering your questions tonight about all things real estate. We invited our good friend Linda Sitek. She is with Keller Williams in Winter Park, the Ritz Sitek team.
Yep.
So when you joined up with Ritz, did we flip a coin to see whose name was going to be first, or how do we come up with this? And do you want me to make a call?
So Steve Ritz is my business
Okay.
partner, and it was really because R was before S.
Oh,
so that
okay.
was that
The
was
alphabet
it.
thing.
The,
Oh, yeah.
the alphabet
I've
thing.
heard that theory
Yeah.
before as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think if he was a gentleman, he would say, "Look, come on, you can be first. I'm a gentleman." I'm just kidding. Ritz Sitek works for me. All right, schools. How important are school systems, in particular schools in the real estate world when you're buying or selling?
They're very important. They can drive up prices or drive down prices in certain areas.
Do we have certain counties that the schools are like, ooh, you got to really watch out, or is it really differences within the counties?
It's differences within the counties. For Orange County in particular, you have the Blankner Boone School District, which is in South Orlando, Delaney Park, and that's a desirable school district. And then in Winter Park, you have the Winter Park High School, Maitland Middle, Glen Ridge Middle as well.
But how does it affect value?
Those have value. It's always be up because those school districts are highly desirable for buyers.
Do you find when you're working with buyers who are in the, let's say, $1 million price range, do you find that they are actually looking at the school system as well, or are they assuming their children are going to go to private school?
That's a good question. I think they want it for value, but they also want to be close to, if we're talking about Orange County, they want to be closer to Lake Island Prep or Trinity for that matter. But it does still have value because when they go to resale, they don't know who's going to be the next person.
Yeah, so even if you're sending your kid to private school, your house value is not going to be as good when you go to resell it, even because the next buyer might not want to send their kid to private school. So I think school systems are incredibly important when it comes to real estate. What are your thoughts on private schools, Linda? Be honest with me.
I think they're great for some people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't. I went to public school, but I'm the one that sends their child to a private school.
I was about to say that.
And I live in Seminole County. I mean, I should be sending my child to a public school, right?
There's phenomenal schools up there.
Yeah, I mean, the elementary school right next to my house is like A+ or whatever. But yet, we got to go to the private school. I hate myself for that for some reason. What do you think, Brianna? Am I an idiot?
No.
Oh,
No. I mean,
what?
ask Sophia.
Yeah, no. Once you get him like sucked into the school, they don't want to change. So I'm just wondering, was it a mistake? Should I have sent my kid to public? You think, Linda, or what?
That depends upon your kid. And
Yeah,
you,
it
you know,
does.
what's important to you and them.
All right, let's talk about the home buying process a little bit. Once you put an offer in on a property, and that offer is actually accepted. Let's say that I make an offer of $400,000. Seller comes back and they sign the contract $400,000. I mean, this is not a done deal at that point, is it, Linda? I mean, tell me what happens between the signing of the contract and the actual closing.
Okay, so we call that like contract to close. During that period of time, the buyer will have a certain amount of time for inspections, and that's really the time for the buyers to have a lot of leverage. So if there are some issues with the house, be it the roof, HVAC, electric, plumbing, and even some other issues, they could come back and ask the seller for some concessions. And then you also have, if you have a loan, you're going to have an appraisal, and the appraisal is also another contingency during that contract to close period.
How long do I normally have to do the inspection once we sign the contract?
It depends upon the contract, but normally, let's just say about 10 days.
Okay, so 10 days. I mean, I think generally speaking, we think, 30 days contract to close is about
That's
average,
fair enough,
right?
yep.
So that first 10 days, we definitely need to do an inspection. Do you always recommend the inspection for a buyer?
Absolutely.
And what are some of the things that the inspection's really going to pick up on that I need to be aware of as a buyer?
Well, the 4 points that I just talked about, the roof, HVAC, plumbing, and electric, those are important ones. But also just looking at some foundations. If there's cracks in the side of the house, you also need to look at that. And then because we live here in Florida, you have what is called WDO. So that's wood destroying organisms. So you would want to most likely have a WDO and termite inspection as well.
It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here, talking to Linda Sitek with Keller Williams Winter Park. So we do the inspection. We hit the major issues there. And let's say I do find something, but the contract says as is. Can I still back out if I find something I don't like during that inspection period?
Absolutely. So with an as-is contract, the buyer has the sole discretion to cancel the contract during that inspection period. But we highly recommend to our buyers to ask for a concession. Is it for the seller to repair, to get a credit? It's worth asking during that period of time.
So what if I don't find anything? What if I find absolutely nothing in the inspection? I just realize I don't like the pink wallpaper in a room. Can I still back out?
Yes.
So I can back out for anything during this 10 days.
Because of in that as-is contract, it says buyer's sole discretion.
Got it. All right. So we get the inspection done. Couple little issues. Can then the seller agree to lower the price and give me a credit at that point?
They can, yeah.
Okay. Or could they agree to fix it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So we worked through all of these issues. I wasn't happy with some things on the roof, but the sellers agreed to repair them prior to closing. Now it's time. I got to get a mortgage. How long do I have to apply for a mortgage, get approved for a mortgage, that sort of thing before I'm actually locked in? And even if I can't get a mortgage, I lose my deposit. What's the time on that normally?
For you to apply, it's normally 5 days. For loan approval is normally 20 days, but each contract is different. And then, about 30 days to close.
So generally speaking, if I am not qualified, I had a pre-qualification letter or whatever. That's why I was even allowed to go look at houses, essentially. But then something popped up, and they're not letting me get the mortgage. Can I, generally speaking, back out of the contract then, or how does that work?
It depends during that loan commitment.
Okay.
So if after that concession, then you might have issues with your escrow deposit, and the seller could sue you as well.
What's a normal deposit that I'm going to make as a buyer on a $400,000 house?
Normal is between $5,000 and $10,000.
Okay. And then so if the contract says I get it back, I guess I get it back. If not, what happens to it?
It depends upon where the escrow is. If the escrow is with a title company, you'd normally want to try to work it out, because if it's $5,000, if you go to small claims court, it's going to be eaten up. So you just want to try to settle everything with both sides, with the buyer and the seller.
What if the buyer says I demand my deposit back, and the seller says no, I'm keeping the deposit, you violated the contract? Who keeps it? Who holds on to it during that time?
If it's with a title company, it's with the title company, and then they normally go to an interpleader at that point.
Yeah.
And again, you really want to work it out because it can be eaten up with attorney's fees.
Lawyers get all the money.
Oh, they do, don't they?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Those lawyers always taking all the money. But you're right. If it's $5,000, you're better off splitting it $2,500 each.
Yep.
Because if not, you're going to end up splitting $500. You're going to get $250 each or something like that.
Exactly.
Because just the lawyer fees alone on an interpleader case, it's going to be half of it at least, probably then some. So
Yep.
I think it's always better to try to work that out as well. So, all right, everything goes well. The mortgage is approved, but the mortgage is approved at only, let's say it's $400,000 contract. The appraisal comes in at $370,000. So they're not going to approve me for $400,000 because the appraisal says it's $370,000. What do we do then?
At that point, then you go back. If you're the buyer, you go to the seller and you ask for it to be the purchase price reduced to $370.
And so the seller certainly doesn't have to do that, I guess. But what are the options as a seller at that point? If they, the buyer comes back and says, I can only pay $370.
You can. There's multiple things. The seller could say, "Yep, I need to move to Atlanta. I need to be done. I need to move on." Or they can split the difference if the buyer does have some extra money and they really do want the house. Or the seller can say, "Nope, not selling it," because that's what the contract says, and then at that point. Then the buyer can back out.
What normally happens there? Normally they compromise? Or
normally they compromise.
All right, good deal. I mean, do you ever see... The problem for the seller is if they just say, no way, I want my whole $400, the next guy might come in at $372. So you've just wasted months and months and you're still at $370.
Yeah, and then you're back on the market, and then sometimes when it's back on the market, well, what's wrong with the house? Why did somebody back out?
Exactly right. If you're wondering how the rental market is in Central Florida right now, I can tell you, it's great. It's great if you're a landlord. I'm going to tell you how to get out of that rental and purchase a home. Right on the other side of this break, along with Stump the Clarkie, it is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. What? Ready?
Yeah. No, let's do it.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is attorney Justin Clark. If you have any questions, 321-282-1055. The website, youhavepower.com. You can watch our 2 TV shows this weekend and every weekend throughout Central Florida on broadcast television. Saturday, 12:30 p.m., it is You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. And then Sunday, it is this show, Behind the Law, but it's Behind the Law on television at 10 a.m. on TV 27. Check us out there. Also, you can join us at 8 o'clock p.m. every weeknight right here on our favorite sports radio station, ESPN 580 Orlando, and you can watch the show, the radio show, at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any social media platform. The beautiful Brianna is here to my right. Thanks for calling me back earlier. I appreciate it. No, you really did call me back.
I did call you back within 10 minutes.
Just you didn't respond to my email or answer my call.
Oh
I thought maybe you were sick.
I didn't know there was a time limit.
I thought maybe you
when to
weren't
respond.
feeling well. Maybe, picking someone up at the airport or something. I wasn't sure why I didn't hear back from you. But I did notice, I checked during the break that you did call me back, so thank you for that, and I apologize for missing your call. Mm-hmm. And when Ali comes up to you and says, why aren't you responding to Justin?
Oh, no. He sent me a text.
He already did?
I think after you walked out of his office biting my head off.
Oh, no,
I was like,
sorry about
God,
that.
he's angry. What's wrong?
Well, no, because, we have the new marketing company, so I just said, hey, does Brianna have a new email or something?
The bear is
but then afterwards I thought, I was like, oh, crap. He's probably going to call her.
He was like, rawr. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Joined today by a very special guest, Linda Sitek with Keller Williams Winter Park. She's a real estate agent, broker, associate over there with the Rich Sitek team. Linda, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're going to play a little game in a minute, but I don't want you to be nervous, okay? It's called Stump the Clarkie. Brianna loves to see me lose. So it's very likely she's going to choose a category very familiar to you. So don't be nervous. We're going to do 4 questions. We'll answer all 4 questions and play along with us at Behind the Law Radio as well. And then after the 4 questions, we will come back and score the game. Best of luck to you if you're playing at home, and best of luck to you, Linda. You ready to play?
Let's do it.
Ready.
All right, and now it's time for Stop the Clarkie. Come on, Clarkie. We need you to get over here. We've got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarkie. Get over here.
What, Brianna, is said category today?
Said category is all about real estate.
Real estate.
I know.
Wow. What
I'm
do you
noticing
know?
a pattern.
What do you know? All right, let's get right to this game.
Okay, so question number 1. In the state of Florida, during the month of May, how many new listings for townhomes and condos were put on the market? In the state last month, how many townhomes and condos were listed?
Throughout the state.
Question number 2. In the state of Florida last month, how many new listings were single-family homes? In the state of Florida last month, how many listings were single-family homes? Don't look at me, Linda. I can't give you any hints.
Tough question so far for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be way off here.
I was doing the Orange County thing, and then I was like, no.
Well,
the
she's going
whole
to know that
state.
probably from Aura.
Exactly. So I was
Yeah.
like, let's do the whole state. Let's see what happens. Question 3. As of 2019, what is the median time to sell a single-family home in the state of Florida?
As a what? Say again.
What is the median time, the average time to sell a single-family home in the state of Florida? How many days?
From when it's listed to close?
Yes. And finally, question number 4. In the state of Florida, how many single-family homes and condos were paid for in cash last month? In the state of Florida, how many single-family homes and condos were paid for in cash last month?
Ugh.
I love it when Justin makes those faces. That means
This
like,
is really hard.
These are tough for me, and I think I'm low today. I don't know.
you know.
I guess the only way to find out is score this game.
Yeah, let's do that.
You're listening to Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here with you as we are every weeknight, 8 o'clock p.m. To my right, it is the beautiful Brianna, and to my left, Linda Sitek with Keller Williams Winter Park. I'm afraid to score the game. I'm afraid, Brianna.
Most exciting time of my day.
I think I'm going to lose today, and I don't like to lose.
Maybe.
But I think it's time to score this. Let's do this. All right, question 1.
In the state of Florida, during last month, how many new listings for townhomes and condos were placed on the market?
Let's go with our guest, Linda Sitek. What did you say?
25,000.
25,000. I think that's a very good guess. And I went with basically half of that, 12,000. I'm too low. What is it? No, she's shaking her head. That means I did well. What is it?
14,000.
Oh, darn it.
14,000. Oh, wow. Okay. Clarky pulls ahead 0-1. That's all right. 3 more questions to go. All right. Question number 2.
In the state of Florida, during the month of May, how many new listings for single-family homes were there?
I'll start with this, and I feel like this has to be a little bit more than the condo and townhomes, but I could be wrong. I went with 18,000. Linda, what do you have?
I'm way too high.
Okay, go ahead.
Like, be ridiculous
All right.
high.
Okay.
50,000.
You might be right. We're going to find out. Brianna,
33,000.
33,000.
Middle of what you guys
So,
were-
wait, who wins?
I don't know. Math. Math
What
really
did-
fast.
Oh, wait. What did Linda say?
50.
50. And what's the right answer?
33.
1, 2, 3.
You
So
win.
She's 17. And 33 minus 18.
That's 15.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I win that one too?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Linda. Oh, my God.
Jeez. Curse word, curse word, curse word.
I
thought
do
you
not
said-
like to lose.
I thought you said I cursed. Well, and the good thing is if you get one right on the money, you're going to get 2 points too. So we still have 2 questions. It's 2-0, but you got 2 more questions to
See what
to,
happens.
to win this game. All right, question number 3.
Question 3. As of 2019, what is the median time to sell a single-family home in the state of Florida?
Linda Sitek, we'll go with you here.
85 days.
85 days. I went a little bit longer. You're probably right. I went with 122
Jesus.
days. What is the right answer?
84 days.
84.
I know. I was
so
like, God.
close. Good
What in the
job.
world?
All right, so it's 2.
Whoa.
It's 2-1. You said you were 1 off, right?
Yeah, way
Good
to go,
job.
Linda. God.
Excellent answer. All right, last question. It's 2-1 going into the last question for a Monday night edition of Stump the Clarky. Brianna, what was question number 4?
Yeah, in the state of Florida, how many single-family homes and condos were paid for in cash last month?
Linda Sitek, let's go with you here. What
I think I was
did
really
you
high.
say?
35%.
30. Is it a percentage? I don't think so, right?
Looking for a number.
Oh,
all right, so
then
go. No, all right, I'll go, and you be
Yeah.
thinking, well,
Yeah,
You
Justin,
write down
go.
write down your number. Write down your number. and
Why,
then-
you don't want her to like piggyback off of your
Well,
number?
I don't want to skew her answer. No.
Oh, here we go.
So repeat the question one more time, Brianna.
In the state of Florida, how many single-family homes and condos were paid for in cash last month?
I mean, you're probably pretty close in that percentage. We should look up the percentage and see how close she was. But
What was your percentage?
35%.
we'll look it up during the break. When we
sounds
come
about
back, we'll do it. All right, Linda Sitek. How many houses were purchased via cash
Last month.
last month?
Last month?
Yes.
I'll say 15,000.
15,000. Good answer. I went with 20,000. What is the right answer?
12,000.
Nice. You tied it
Tied.
up. Good job.
Sweet.
We'll finish the day tied. I like
Yes.
that.
Nice.
2-2. Good job, Linda. Thank you for playing.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for being with us. Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm starving.
We gotta get Fulton
Thank-
back on the show.
Thank you, Fulton. Al. Yeah, where has Fulton been? Fulton, you got to get back on the show, brother.
Absolutely.
All right, so we will look that up during the break, though, right? Don't let me forget. So we're going to look up what percentage of houses are purchased with cash. You think that's about right? 35%?
Yeah, because the lower ones, the 50,
Yeah.
60,000, almost all of them have to be.
And do you think most buyers, most sellers, are they really looking for a cash buyer, or they really don't care?
Oh, they care.
Yeah.
Cash is king.
Yeah. And because there are so many things that can happen through the mortgage process where it doesn't work out, or like we talked about earlier with the appraisal coming in low,
Correct.
cash is definitely. When you do get an offer, a contract in that is cash, what's the typical closing time then? It's certainly not 30 days, I
And
guess,
it's
right?
normally less than that.
What's
yeah.
sort of the average on a cash deal?
Gosh, I did one earlier this year, or Steve and I did, that was 4 days.
Oh, really?
And it was $1 million sale.
Yeah,
But if you're talking about averages, about 15 to 20 days.
If you're thinking about selling your home and you don't want to get sued by the buyer for you not disclosing certain things like water intrusion, maybe there was a murder in the house or a suicide. What do you need to disclose to make sure you don't get sued by the buyer? Right on the other side of this break, it is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Good job, Linda.
Oh,
Yes.
thanks.
What is that? Huh? Really? You're out of control.
Am I?
Yesterday we're at Corona,
Oh my goodness.
and today we're drinking rosé on the air.
I had one. First of all, you notice how I said that? You're out of control, Justin.
You're out of control. Well, at least you're not wearing a hat and shorts to a law firm.
Yeah, you're wearing socks today, so it's a step up
I
from your
am wearing
flip flops that you
socks, yeah.
normally wear.
Same
so
ones
that's
I wore
okay.
yesterday. All right, you ready?
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
One final segment ahead for a Monday night edition of Behind the Law. My name is Attorney Justin Clark. 321-282-1055. Plenty of information about the law firm is also on the website. youhavepower.com. youhavepower.com. The beautiful Brianna joins me to my right. Hello, Brianna.
Hello, Justin.
She's drinking cherry soda on the air today.
I am.
And Linda Sitek is our very special guest. She's with Keller Williams Winter Park. Hi, Linda. How are you?
Oh, good, and you?
Let's talk. I'm well, thank you. So, talk about the rental market right now. Before the break, I was talking about how the rental market in Orlando is great. It's great if you're a landlord. If you're a family trying to put a roof over your head, the rental market is out of control, is it not?
Very much so.
When you compare the same exact house and what I would pay to rent it versus what I would pay to buy it, don't you think it's cheaper to buy right now for the actual monthly amount?
It is.
There's just no doubt about it. I think what I saw the other day, the average rental home for Orlando is like almost $1,500 a month. You could get a house that's like almost $300,000 for. I mean, 250, 270 grand for that, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're renting a home, I really want you to call someone like Linda. Call Linda Sitek, and let's get you out of the rental race and get a house of your own. Stop paying the mortgage for someone else so they can make money, and then kick you out whenever they want. And I know that a lot of you have been scared about. You went through a foreclosure 6 years ago, or you had a bankruptcy 5 years ago, and everyone's telling you, oh, it's impossible to get a mortgage. It really isn't, Linda. The lending regulations have really eased up. What are you seeing out there in the trenches when you're working with buyers and they're getting a mortgage? What are you seeing right now?
Oh, I'm definitely seeing buyers getting really great rates. I mean, rates right now are right around 4%. Just 3 months ago, they were 4.5%.
Yeah.
So that's why last month in May in Orlando or Orange County and Seminole County, why there was more sales than there were last May.
Yeah, so get out there, try to buy a house, stop renting. All right, talk to me about disclosures. Let's say I'm going to go sell my home. Aren't there certain things that I have to disclose, and what are they?
It really comes down to what materially affects the home. So that's what you need to disclose. So if you did have a roof leak in your dining room 2 years ago, you need to disclose that there was a roof leak in the dining room in 2017, and if you got it fixed right away, you write that down.
Is there a particular form I'm going to use to do this on, or how do I actually disclose it to the potential buyer?
So with Keller Williams, we have our disclosure that we give to a seller. It's about 4 to 5 pages. The Florida Realtors also has a seller's disclosure as well, and it really protects the seller.
Gotcha. All right, so be careful, because I have clients in my office all the time who are buyers who come in and say, Justin, my house is a disaster. It's leaking. Every time it even sprinkles out, I get these terrible floods in my house, and what should I do? And I say, you need to probably sue the seller, because I'll look at the disclosure, and it's very obvious that the seller would have known these things, and you have to disclose certain things. Don't risk getting sued down the road. You must have seen it before, Linda.
Oh, disclose. And we encourage our sellers to disclose as much as possible, because also during the inspection period, if the buyer comes back and it says that the roof is 10 years old, and they come back and say, I want a new roof. Well, no, you signed the seller's disclosure. It's 10 years old.
Right.
And there's no leaks.
Exactly.
So it's protecting the seller.
When you are working with a seller and the buyer comes in and asks for a new roof or whatever, what's sort of the typical age time where the buyers start to get finicky about purchasing without a new roof?
It's right around 15 to 20 years.
Okay. That's when they will say, look, this roof needs to be replaced.
Yes, and we've been through 5 major hurricanes since 2004.
True. Very, very true. All right. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here, talking to Linda Sitek with Keller Williams Winter Park. Linda, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
We've all heard recently about this new thing going on called Open Door. What is Open Door?
Open Door is a type of what we call an iBuyer. So Open Door, OfferPad, now Zillow is getting into the market as well, and they're coming in and buying houses with cash.
And what do you think about them? You can be honest.
I think it depends upon the seller, but most of the time they want to get it at the least amount of purchase price. And what they also do is they come in, they have inspectors, and every single vendor of an inspector contractor come in, and during that period of time, they try to, during the inspection period that we talked about earlier, is to try to get the reduction in purchase price during that time, because really their goal is to get it as low as possible, because they're going to go ahead and resell it right away.
I mean, they're flipping your house, aren't they? I mean, essentially, aren't they going to flip your house?
Yeah,
so
that's exactly.
They're trying to create some equity by kind of taking the equity from you. And let me caution you, too, because I think a lot of us out there will say, ew, you know what? I'm going to use Open Door because they're like some computer system or something. They're not going to find out about that leak in the garage or that terrible, nasty thing going on down there in the basement. Open Door is going to do inspections just like anyone else, are they not?
100%, and even more so.
Yeah, so if you think you're going to sneak it by them because there's some computer farm out in California or something, that's really not going to happen. They're going to inspect your house just like any other buyer, and according to Linda, maybe even a little bit more than a regular buyer.
That's correct.
So I think it might be good for someone who is, they got to get out of town really quickly or something and just want to be done with it. But other than that, if you have a little bit of time, I think the traditional route, you're probably going to get more money for your house.
You're going to get more money. What they promise is ease, not price.
Right.
And so what we do is when we have a listing, we'll go to one of the iBuyers, see what the price is, and then show that to the seller, and 9.5 times out of 10, it's extremely low.
Right. What sort of commissions am I paying or closing costs am I paying as the seller going through one of these iBuyers?
So each one varies, but let's say 7 to 8%.
So more or same.
More.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
I don't see a whole lot of value unless you're just trying to get the what out of Dodge, so to speak.
Yep, exactly.
Value. All right. Let's say I'm considering selling my home, but I don't really know exactly what my house is worth. So a lot of people are going to go to Zillow.com and the Zestimate or whatever from the server farm out in California is going to pop out a number at you. What is the accuracy level of something like that?
The accuracy level is usually 20% off one way or another. I mean, the CEO of Zillow, his was off by 20% when he sold his house.
Shocker.
So
That's great.
it's a good barometer, to use.
So if someone is looking to possibly sell their home, what's a good way to really get a good value?
Is to hire a full-time real estate agent, a realtor, and get a market analysis.
And let's say I want to get a market analysis from you.
Yes.
How do I reach out?
You can call me at 407-963-6544.
Website, email, how can I reach you otherwise?
Website is www.abodehometeam.com, and then Linda at abodehometeam.com.
So you're really going to go kind of look around in the neighborhood, see what's really sold, get to know the house a little bit, and then you can really give someone a good idea of what the value really is.
Absolutely.
A good deal. All right, so let's say that I'm looking to buy a house. It seems like there are countless websites out there now that have listings and this and that. Where's a good place for me to really start looking to buy a home on the internet?
First off is to find a real estate agent, a realtor like myself, and then if you're going to be purchasing with the financing, is to get a direct mortgage lender, and that's really the first place to start. And then from there, we have our own app that we give to our buyers, and they can go right on to the app and start looking at listings, and they can mark them for us to look at the ones that they like, and go from there.
All right, last question. So let's say that I am looking on the internet for a house and I find what I like. I hit the little send button and the listing agent calls me. Should I go hire my own buyer's agent, or should I let the listing agent represent both the seller and the buyer?
Most likely you want to be able to have your own representative, to have your own buyer's agent.
Does it cost me any more as the buyer to have my own agent?
It does not.
Exactly. Linda Sitek, Keller Williams in Winter Park. One more time, Linda, how do we reach out?
407-963-6544, the website, which is abodehometeam.com, and Linda at abodehometeam.com.
Excellent job today, Linda. We'll have to write a book together.
Thanks.
Next, we've done TV. Now we've done radio.
Yep.
Magazine or book are next.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us
Thank
tonight
you.
for another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Brianna, I don't know much, but I do know one little tiny thing.
What's that?
I will see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN 580 Orlando. All right.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.